Hey friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. For those that are new, my name is Natasha Banda, and welcome for those that are returning subscribers. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for clicking into my video once again. So as you can already see by the title of this video, today I'll be telling you a story of how I found out I was pregnant. So this is a story from back in 2015 when I found out I was pregnant. For those that have already watched my get to know me tag, you've heard or found out already that I have a 4-year-old daughter. If you haven't watched my video yet, I will put the link to the video down in my description box. So before we continue with the story, please make sure that you subscribe and you like this video, and let us get into the story. As I already said, this was back in 2015. I was out of high school. I was supposed to be doing my second year of university of varsity, but unfortunately due to financial reasons I couldn't go back to school, so I was at home. Actually, I was only at home for the first 3 months of the year, and later on got a job and started working. So while I was working at this place, there were days when I felt like there was something wrong with my tummy, but I wasn't sure what was happening. So there were times when I would make myself a cup of coffee, and the coffee tasted very bad. It didn't taste like the usual cup of coffee that I would always enjoy. And then I remember this one time when my boss brought us cake, and she warmed up a piece of cake for me and she gave it to me to eat. But when I took 1 spoon of the cake, I suddenly got sick. I felt sick that I even wanted to vomit. And then that just raised red flags for me. I was like, okay, no, there's definitely something wrong with me. If I do not have a flu bug or a tummy bug or something, I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something wrong with me. So fine, time went by and I didn't notice. So my stomach started getting big, but because I wasn't thinking of the matter that I could be pregnant, I felt like I was getting fat. So I started jogging every morning, exercising, trying to stay healthy and all of that. Little did I know that I was pregnant. So as time went by, my tummy started showing. Even my friends were like, hey girl, you look like you're pregnant. But I was like, no man, I'm not pregnant. I know I'm not pregnant, so there's no way that I could be pregnant. Fine. And then now this one weekend when I was at home, so I worked from Monday to Friday, and then on Fridays I would go to my boyfriend's place. Instead of going home, I would go to my boyfriend's place. I always used to have an excuse of where I was going on Fridays, because I obviously couldn't tell my mother that I was going to my boyfriend's place. So I had an excuse that I'm going to my friend's place, we're going out tonight or something like that. So once in a while I'll go to my boyfriend's place on a Friday. So this one weekend I was at home, and then my sister and her boyfriend were chilling in the yard. They were having some fun time, and I was standing outside with them. And then my sister's boyfriend was like, Annie, come here. So they call me Annie. My nickname is Annie. They're like, Annie, come here. I went to him, and so he was like, Annie, you're pregnant. I laughed. So I have this thing that when I'm shocked, when I'm in shock, I laugh. The first thing that I do is laugh. So I laughed. I was like, there's no ways I'm pregnant. I know I'm not pregnant. My sister also called me. She was like, Annie, you're pregnant. You're definitely pregnant. If you do not know, buy a pregnancy test and check yourself out, because you are pregnant. You look pregnant and we can see that you are pregnant. There's no doubt that you're pregnant. So I was like, whatever. I'm gonna check myself. I'll buy a pregnancy test but I didn't tell them. This was just something that was running through my mind. I was like, okay, no, damn, these aren't the first people that are telling me I look pregnant, so I definitely need to check if I'm pregnant or not. So that day when they were telling me that I look pregnant, they were making so much noise that my mom even heard them. So she called me in and she was like, Amy, what's happening? Are you pregnant? I said no. There's no ways I'm pregnant. I was like, abayazi lento bayithethayo abawethu baselile, so akho lonto, I'm not pregnant. Fine. That same day I was going to my boyfriend's place. I think it was on a Saturday. So I packed my bags and I left. As soon as I got to my boyfriend's place, I was like, hey son, kuthiwa ndimit abantu bathi I look pregnant and ndiyoyika ngoku because I also feel like there's something wrong with my tummy, so I definitely need to buy a pregnancy test and check if I'm pregnant or not. Guy was shocked. He was scared. He was like, okay, fine, let's not panic now. Tomorrow morning when you're going home, make sure that you pass by town, buy yourself a pregnancy test and just do the test as soon as possible. Fine, I did that. The following day I went to town, got myself a pregnancy test and went home. So in 2015 I wasn't staying with my mom, I stayed with my big brother, so it was just the two of us, and he wasn't home on the following Monday. So I bought the pregnancy test on Sunday, and then on Monday, because I knew I was going to be home alone, I did the pregnancy test and it came out positive. Bear in mind, at the time I was like, I'm going to get the cheapest pregnancy test, because what if I'm not pregnant? I'm not trying to waste money on a pregnancy test for something that I know I'm not pregnant already. So I was like, okay, fine. I bought myself a cheap pregnancy test and I went home. Monday morning, first thing I did was test and see if I'm pregnant. So I did the test and I put it on the table. 5 minutes went by and I checked it, only to find that there were 2 lines. I went back to the packet and I was like, okay, what does this mean? Let me check, what does this mean? So I checked on the pack and there it was written that if it's 2 lines, then you're positive, which means you are pregnant. Fine. I took a picture and first sent it to my best friend, Babalwa. And she was like, oh my God, you're pregnant. Yeah, I panicked. Took the same picture, sent it to my boyfriend, and I was like, hey, I'm pregnant. Actually, I didn't say anything when I sent the picture to him. I just sent him the picture. And then he asked, what does this mean? I told him it's 2 lines, which means I'm pregnant. Yo. Guys. Fine, my boyfriend was like, oh my goodness, Amy, what have we done? Like, we're not in a position where we can have a child. We really cannot have a child at this age, and we're both not working. I'm still in university, you're not in school. Like, we do not have money to support a child. So I was like, I'm not sure about the results that came from this test. So my best friend was like, okay, I'm gonna come so that we can go and buy the clear blue pregnancy test, which is more reliable than the cheap one. So fine, my friend came by, she arrived, and then we left and went to Spar. We got to Spar, we bought the clear blue pregnancy test, and when I got home I did the pregnancy test again and it came out pregnant, and it was showing that I'm 3 to 5 weeks pregnant. Yo guys, I cried because now it hit me that okay, now you are pregnant. Like, there's no way this test is lying, because it says you're pregnant and you're 3 to 5 weeks pregnant. Yo, 3 to 5 weeks pregnant is 1 to 2 months pregnant. I cried so much. Like, my best friend didn't even know what to do with me. I was crying. I cried. My boyfriend called me and he heard that I had been crying so much. So he was like, look, tomorrow morning wake up and come over. So I did just that. I woke up and went to his place. When I got here, we sat and we had a chat, and I cried again. Guys, I cried so much. I think the reason that I cried so much is because I knew that. So back in the days, I used to do a lot of modeling, and one of my dreams were that I want to enter Miss SA. I wanted to enter Miss SA. So now finding out that I'm pregnant, whereas I haven't entered Miss SA, that meant that I won't be able to enter Miss SA, and that really broke me, because that was like my biggest dream of all time. I really wanted to enter Miss SA. I cried when I got here. I cried so much that I remember my boyfriend was cooking at the time. He even burnt the pot because he couldn't leave me alone here and go attend to what he was cooking. But yeah, that's just something else. So after crying, he was like, no, listen, don't cry. It has already happened. We'll try and get through this. We'll chat about it and see what we can do. Obviously, our parents will also help us. There's no way that they'll let us suffer. So I was like, fine. I calmed down. I was okay. I went home. I think I went home the following day. So the week went by and I was at home. At this time, I think I was already done working at this time, because the place where I was working at, I think I only worked for 3 months and then I stopped working there. So I was already at home at around this time. So I think this was around April when we found out that I was pregnant. Around April, May, June, April, around that time. So this one weekend I was at home, because during the week I was at my brother's place, and then over the weekends I would either be at home or at my boyfriend's place. So this time around I was at home and I was sitting inside the house with my mom. So my mom was like, what's happening, Amy? Because now your tummy is getting bigger each day and you say you're not pregnant, but you look pregnant, because now I can see that you are pregnant. I was so embarrassed. I remember sitting on the couch and I had a blanket covering me because I was trying to cover my tummy. So I took the blanket and covered my face and I was like, ewe mama di meat. I was like, yes mom, I am pregnant. And I stayed under the blanket. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna face her and tell her that I'm pregnant. I am gonna hide myself under this blanket. Yo guys, it was like I could say vuleka mhlaba ndingene, like open up couch, open up universe, just let me sink in. Yo, my mom started talking. I knew that she would be so disappointed, because she also knew that I wanted to enter this essay. Like, she had big hopes and dreams for me, just like any other parent do for their kids. She was so disappointed. She started talking about things like, oh guys, I started crying all over again. It broke my heart so much. The way she was so disappointed, it really broke my heart. Oh, she said so many sad things. Like, it reminded me of the dreams I had about my future, and she was like, now how are you going to do all these things when you're pregnant? How are you going to be able to take care of a child when you're also a child at this time? And all of that. Yeah, she spoke guys. She said so many things. And then she asked, how many months are you? I was like, I don't know, but the pregnancy test said 3 to 5 weeks, so I think I'm like 2 or 3 months pregnant, because it was later. It was like a few weeks after I did the pregnancy test. So I was like, I think I'm 2 or 3 months pregnant now. And she was like, oh, you're going to have to go to the doctors and check out how many months you're pregnant, because now your tummy really looks big, which means that you can't even have an abortion. I was like, yeah. And at that time, when she said that, me and my boyfriend were not in good terms, because he was like, you need to get an abortion. There's no way we're keeping this child. We cannot afford to have a child. Like, we were not in good terms. So she was like, you can't even get an abortion now, because it's already late. Your tummy looks really big. And I was just quiet. I was just sitting there quiet, thinking. I don't even know what I was thinking about, but my mind was just far away. So fine, time went by. My mother called my brother and she told him that I'm pregnant. Yeah, that was another one. Guys, my brother was so disappointed. And this is someone that was like he's still like a father to me. He plays the role of a father to me. So he was so disappointed, and he blamed himself for me getting pregnant, because he was like, how come I didn't see this? Because mom gave me the responsibility of taking care of you, and now you're pregnant. How did this happen? Why? And all of that. Like, he was really broken. He was heartbroken. I remember he even stopped talking to me for like for the rest of my pregnancy. Tell me, he would never speak to me, because when I was at home, what he used to do was call me, and then he would ask me to give my mom the phone so that everyone could talk to him. This time around, he never called me. He used to call straight to my mother's cell phone or call my sister and then talk to them without even asking to talk to me. Yo guys, imagine, this is someone I used to live with. This was someone that I spoke to every day, and now we were not on talking terms, because he was really disappointed. So months and months went on. I I told my sisters I was pregnant. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should get an abortion or keep the child. They were like, no man, keep the child, because like there's no way that we as a family are gonna let you struggle, whereas we are here, we're around, and we are able to help you. So it's fine. Don't worry that you're pregnant. It's okay. Like, these things happen, and at least you're old enough because you're already out of high school. And I think in 2015 I was 20 years old. So they're like, at least you're not that young. It's okay. You will go back to university, study, finish, and then get a proper job and take care of your child. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to keep this child. I told my boyfriend that, look, I'm going to keep this child. Whether you are part of this child's life or not, I'm keeping my child. There's no way I'm getting an abortion. And because I'm a Christian, like, my beliefs did not allow me to get an abortion. As much as I was scared and afraid, getting pregnant really terrified me because I was 20 years old. I didn't have a proper job. I was a dropout of varsity. So I was really like terrified of having a child, but still at the same time there was no way that I was going to get an abortion, because this is something that I do not believe in. This is something that I am totally against. So I was like, no ways, I'm not going to get an abortion. I told him. He was like, fine then, if this is what you want to do, then it's fine. Yeah, guys, I cried because now I had lost my boyfriend. I'm pregnant. I'm a school dropout. My family's disappointed with me. Yeah, I'd go to bed crying every night. I cried every night. I remember, like, every night when I went to bed, I'd cry because I was really just so broken. My schoolmates were in varsity. They were having fun. I was at home pregnant, and I didn't tell any other friends of mine that I was pregnant. My best friend is the only one that knew that I was pregnant. And the only thing they knew, that the reason I wasn't at school is because I didn't have money to go back to school. That's the only thing they knew. So they didn't know that I'm also pregnant. On top of not having money to go back to school, I'm now pregnant. And being pregnant means that I need to have money to take care of the child. Yeah. Every night I would go to bed crying. And then I think it was just only for 1 month when me and my boyfriend were not getting along, because we later on sat down and we spoke. He called me. He was like, okay, listen, this is something that we both did. You're not the one that got yourself pregnant. I also played a part in getting you pregnant. I was like, it's fine. We'll get through this together. We'll make a plan on how we're going to take care of the child, but I want to be part of my child's life. So we got back together and things were good. He'll go visit me. He'll pick me up, come to his place. And we'll just, like, everything went back to normal, and it was fun. So I was pregnant from 2015 until 2016, yeah. So throughout December, I was pregnant, guys. I couldn't go out, and I looked so ugly, yeah. I was so depressed. My goodness, I was depressed because I wanted to go out like the other kids, but I couldn't go out because I was pregnant. Imagine being pregnant in December, and it was so hot, and my tummy was huge. I'll try and find a picture and put it somewhere here. In January 2016, that's when I gave birth. And January 2016 was the year that my boyfriend moved to Durban. So he left for Durban before I gave birth. That's another thing that just depressed me. Oh, I was so sad. But my mom was like, no, don't worry, this guy is going to study that side. He's trying to make sure that you and the child have a brighter future and all of that. And he's gonna come back, don't worry, and all of that. Yeah, I was sad because I just wanted my baby daddy next to me when I gave birth, and really I just wanted that. So on the 14th of January 2016, I gave birth. I was supposed to give birth in December, but my date went past and nothing happened, so I had to go get admitted into the hospital where I was induced. Labor story, I will tell you guys another time of my labor experience. Make sure that you hit the notification bell and you stay tuned so that you do not miss out when I finally do record the labor story. So 14th of January 2016, I gave birth. I was admitted on the 12th, and then on the 13th they induced me, and then on the 14th in the early AMs, I think it was around 4 a.m., I gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and we named her Owe to Joy. She's the love of my life. She makes me so happy, even though we do fight a lot, because she's cheeky. She's so cheeky, but I love her so much. Life has been amazing. The baby daddy is still around. He plays a huge role in her life. In fact, they're best friends. I think more than me and her being friends, she is best friends with her dad, and they look alike. I gave birth to Owetu. My brother came around, he saw the child, and he started warming up towards my child and myself, that now we are back to being in a good condition. We talk, we are friends again. Oh guys, that was the only thing that made me happy. Getting back in good terms with my brother really made me happy, because I was so sad that he was so disappointed in me. Yeah, I really didn't want that. Same goes for my mother. I was really sad that she was so disappointed in me, because disappointing my parents was the last thing on my mind. I really did not want to disappoint them, but it just so happened that I got pregnant, and there's nothing really we could do about it. After giving birth to Owetu, same year, a month later, I went back to varsity. I studied and I finished my course. I graduated in the 3 years that was allocated, and that made my mother really happy, because she was worried that now that I have a child, will I be able to go back to school? But I made sure that I went back to university. I studied and made sure that I passed all my modules and graduated within the 3 years of the duration of the course that I was doing, which is journalism. And I just made it a habit, or I made sure that I push, because there was no way that I was going to disappoint my mother again. After having a child, I had no other option but to just push and to stay strong, and that's exactly what I did. I pushed so hard. I fought back. I kicked down walls and all of it. I made sure that I will pass my course without any delays or anything, and my mother was so proud of me. So many people think that once you have a child or once you get pregnant, then your life is over, then you can't do anything after that. But no, that's not true. That's a lie. As much as having a child out of wedlock and when you're still young is not nice, but also having a child has motivated me to push so hard. During times when I felt like, no, it was too much, it's getting hard, I'll think of my daughter and the things that I don't want her to go through. Obviously, I want to be able to provide for my daughter. So that just motivated me to push so hard and make sure that I achieve everything that I set for myself. Until this day, she motivates me to push so hard. And I'm grateful that I decided to keep the child, because I'm really happy with her. I love her so much, and she's honestly the reason why I do everything that I do. And without her, I think my life would have been different. The plans are ours, but the final steps, only God is the one that directs them. So as much as we might have big plans for our lives, sometimes things change and our plans might be different from what God has planned for us. Getting pregnant young hurt me, it broke me, but it somehow made me into a different person, a stronger person, and a more focused person, because I don't think I was really that focused before having a child, but now I am really focused on what I want, and I always make sure that I get whatever it is that I want without letting anything put me down. So yeah, I'm not saying that you guys should go out there and get pregnant now. No, guys, this is just my experience and what I feel and know about the journey that I'm on. We all have different journeys that we're taking in life, so there's no way that we can compare my story to the next person, as much as the next person cannot compare their story to mine. We all taking different journeys, and we just have to embrace wherever it is that we are, and not let circumstances and situations that we currently are in determine where we will be in the future. As much as something might be a turn off, or as much as something might be not what you had planned for yourself, just try and find a way around it to get yourself back on the road that you were on. Try and redirect yourself, try and refocus on whatever it is that you want to achieve. Don't let situations bring you down. For me, I was out of university. I couldn't afford to go back to university, and I found out I was pregnant. But I told myself that, look, as soon as I actually, even during the time that I was pregnant, I used to go to my varsity, try and look for places where I could get bursaries. I went to the financial aid offices for like a full week. Every day I would wake up and go to the financial aid offices, because I had told myself that, listen, you're already disappointing your mother by being pregnant, so there's no way that you're going to disappoint her again and be a stay-at-home mom. You are going to go back to university. And I did just that. I managed to secure myself a study fund or loan, which was NSFAS. I applied for NSFAS, made sure that I submitted everything, and they accepted me, and I went back to university the following year. There's a saying that says that you can never be able to heal from something if you do not allow yourself to feel it or go through it. So this is just something that I always make sure that whatever I go through, I'll give myself time to cry about it, to feel the emotions that it comes along with, and ndigowe nje, allow myself ukuba ndigowe. The following day or following week, I get back up, and I make sure that I do not let that same thing get me down again. We have come to the end of my story, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope that it has motivated someone who's currently going through something and they feel like they can't get through it. Thank you so much to everyone that was watching. Please let me know down in the comment section if you'd like me to do another story time, and also please make sure that you also suggest any other video ideas that you might have. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and see you in my next video. Love you so much, guys, and thank you so much for the support. Bye.